Hey everyone, I'm Munir, your go-to sales coach for crushing it in real estate. Right now, investors around the world are asking the same question. Should I buy property in Dubai now or should I wait? And honestly, with everything that's happening globally, it's a fair question. The news is full of headlines about geopolitical tensions, rising oil prices, shipping disruptions, and inflation. Naturally, this creates uncertainty. Clients are calling agents asking things like, is it safe to invest right now? What if prices drop? Or should I wait until things calm down? Let me ask you something for a moment. Have you heard these objections from clients recently? If you have, keep that in mind as we go through this video, because what I'm about to show you will help you turn these objections into opportunities. And here's something most people don't realize. Moments of uncertainty often create the best entry points for smart investors. So as you watch this video, I want you to do one thing. Whenever you hear a response you like, please write it down. Because these are the exact types of answers that can help you guide your clients with confidence. Now first, let's address the elephant in the room. Regional tensions and global uncertainty are dominating the headlines right now. And whenever that happens, investors naturally become cautious. Sometimes that caution can temporarily slow market activity. But here's something important that I want you to write down. Markets move in cycles, and uncertainty creates opportunities. Dubai's real estate market has actually demonstrated remarkable resilience during global disruptions in the past. The fundamentals behind the market remain extremely strong. Population continues to grow. International investors continue to move to Dubai. The city keeps expanding its tech, finance, and business sectors, and tourism continues to boom year on year. In fact, Dubai's property market recently recorded one of its strongest years ever, with over 680 billion dirhams in property sales during 2025. That's something you should know. Now pause and ask yourself something for a second. Does that sound like a weak market? Exactly. It's a strong market. So when a client says, I'm worried about the market, you can respond calmly and confidently, and you can say something like this. I completely understand the concern, Mr. Client, but historically, Dubai's market has shown incredible resilience. Periods of uncertainty can often create the best entry points before the next growth cycle. And when you say that with confidence, you position yourself not just as an agent, but as a trusted advisor. Now, let's talk about the second concern investors are hearing about right now: rising oil prices. Whenever geopolitical tensions increase, energy prices usually follow. Higher oil prices increase the costs across the global economy. Transportation becomes more expensive, manufacturing becomes more expensive, logistics become more expensive, and construction materials like cement, steel, and aluminium also increase in cost. So let me ask you something quickly. What happens when it becomes more expensive to build new property? Take a second just to think about that, because that's going to help you with your answer towards the client. Developers eventually increase property prices to protect their margins. So here's another line I want you to write down. When construction costs rise, future property prices usually follow. That's why many experienced investors prefer entering the market before those increases appear in new project prices. Now, another topic investors are hearing about is shipping disruptions in the region, particularly around Strait of Hormuz. Higher insurance costs, longer shipping routes, and increased security risks can push global prices higher. And that directly affects construction supply chains. If materials become more expensive to import, developers face higher project costs. So let me ask you something again. If developers pay more to build, what eventually happens to property prices? Prices tend to rise over time. So, when a client asks you, won't this delay projects or make prices higher? You can respond with perspective. Say something along the lines of, it may increase construction costs in the short term, but that's exactly why many investors choose to buy earlier in the cycle before those higher costs are reflected in future project pricing. Now, another major concern that investors have right now is inflation and interest rates. Over the past few years, central banks around the world have been trying to manage inflation carefully. But historically, something very interesting happens when interest rates eventually start easing. More liquidity flows back into the market. And when liquidity increases, asset prices often rise. Why do you think wealthy investors often move into property during inflationary periods? Take a moment and think about it. It's because real estate has always been long considered one of the strongest inflation hedges. So while some investors wait on the sidelines, other investors move into properties specifically to protect their capital. Now here's something many people overlook. Even during periods of global uncertainty, Dubai's real estate market remains extremely active. Daily transaction values regularly reach billions of dirhams, with thousands of transactions happening every week across the city. Think about that for a second. We're doing around 2 to 2.5 billion dirhams daily in Dubai alone. Now, ask yourself this: would that level of activity exist if investors lacked confidence in the market? Of course not. Now imagine what happens when global confidence returns and regional tensions ease. Historically, when that happens, demand accelerates and transaction volumes increase. We're somewhere between 2 and 3 billion dirhams per day at the moment, and we're expecting that to go up even further. Developers gradually adjust prices upwards when that happens, and investors who entered the market earlier often benefit the most. Interestingly, the current market conditions can actually create advantages for buyers, because during slower periods, especially around seasons like Ramadan, developers often introduce more flexible payment plans, launch prices, and even special incentives, which you already know. So here's another question for you. When do you think buyers usually get the best deals? When the market is quiet, or when everyone is rushing to buy at the same time? Exactly. They're all waiting to buy at the same time. Often, during periods of quiet times is when we get the best deals. That means buyers today can sometimes secure better terms and pricing before demand increases again. And experienced investors know that timing those opportunities can make a big difference. So let me leave you with one final thought. The real question isn't about whether Dubai real estate will continue growing. The real question is this: do you guide your client to enter the market before the next price adjustment or after it? It's your responsibility. Periods of uncertainty usually create hesitation, but for informed investors, they can also create strategic opportunities, and that's where you come in. Because Dubai isn't slowing down. If we look at the 2033 and 2040 plans, it continues to position itself as one of the world's most attractive destinations for business, lifestyle, and global real estate investment. Thank you for watching, guys, and before you go, here's one final question for you. Are you preparing your clients for the next market cycle or waiting for it to happen without you? And if you're a real estate agent looking to improve your conversion skills during uncertain markets, make sure to subscribe, because in the next video, I'll show you how to approach client calls with unbreakable confidence and become the trusted advisor investors rely on when the markets feel uncertain.